Welcome back to another lecture of Laksh tutorial. Now, as we have already discussed in the previous lecture that what is basically called factorization, we already discussed what is the first method of factorization and what was that? To factorize them in prime factors form and to take them common. That means we are basically factorizing each and individual terms and seeing that what are the elements and to take the elements common. That is called factorization by common method. And if you haven't watched that video, so you can go to the description box and watch that video. The link is present in the description box. And if you are new to my channel, then press the subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can easily get notified whenever I upload a new video. Now let us understand or let us start with this topic. Now in today's video we are going to discuss about the second method of factorization, and what is that? Factorizing by grouping of terms. Now what does this method mean? Let us understand this method with a simple example. Now let us take an example over here. In this particular question you can see that x square plus xy minus x minus y. In this type of questions we need to group them in similar types. What does that mean? Let us understand with this sum. We can see that this term contains an element which is y. Similarly, this is also containing y over here. So we will do what? We will take these two terms at one place, and similarly we can see that this is only containing x terms and this is only containing x terms. So we will do what? We will try to keep these two terms at one place and these two terms at one single place. So let us do that. So over here we are basically writing x square minus x plus xy minus y. So we have taken this x on that side and we have taken this xy on this side, so that we can see that these terms is containing only one variable, that is what? X over here. In these terms there is this one. We are having two variables, but this one is only having one variable. And what is common in between them? The common variable is y over here. So we understood that y is common over here, x is common over here. So let us take the common part over here. What is the common part? The common part is x. So we will get x from the first term and we will get minus 1 from the second one. Now why minus 1 over here? Let us understand that part also. Since this x, we don't have anything apart from x over here, so we can say that if there is nothing, there is 1 present over there. If there is nothing, then there is 1 present over here. So if we take this part common, that means if we take x common from here, then we are left with 1. That is why I have written 1 over here. The same concept goes in these two terms also. In the third term and the fourth term, we can see that y is common. So we are left with x from the first one and we are left with minus 1 from the second one. Concept remains the same. We don't have any separate value over here, so that in that case we are considering 1 over here. So that is why we are considering 1. Now if you can just observe that this x minus 1 and x minus 1 is common in both these two terms, so we will take x minus 1 common. So let us quickly take x minus 1 common. So x minus 1 is taken out common. So we are left with what? We are left with x over here and we are left with y over here. So we are basically left with x plus y. So this is your answer. I hope you understood what is basically called grouping of terms. Grouping of terms means taking similar term at one place and then seeing what is common in between them. Like in this particular case x was common, in this case y was common. So we have already taken out the variable that is common and then we have grouped the similar terms over here. Let us understand this particular concept with one more example over here. Now let us understand this question. Now in this question we have been given 6xy square minus 3xy minus 10y plus 5. Now in this particular question you can see that in this term as well as in this term there are two variables. One is x, another one is y. One more thing that is common is that 6 can be easily broken up as 3 into 2, and we can see 3 is also present in the second one. So we are getting too many terms over here that can be taken out common. But what about this third term and the fourth one? In these two terms, you can see that 5 is common over here. So first we will simplify these two terms, then we will come to the third one and fourth one. So let us quickly solve this one. In this particular case, we know that 3 is a term that is common to both the terms, so we can take easily 3 common. The next thing is that we can take xy common over here. So if we take xy common, so what is left from the first one? From the first one, since we have already taken 3 over here, so we are left with 2. Same thing in the same term, we are getting y over here. Why? Because x is taken out common and 1y is also taken out common. But what about the second one? We have already taken 3xy common. So if nothing is present in that particular term, if we have taken all the terms common, so we are basically left with 1. As we have already discussed in the previous question, if we have taken all the terms common, we are left with what? 1. So in this case, we are left with 1 over here. Same thing happens in these two terms. We are basically taking minus 5 common over here. Now why minus 5? Why not plus 5 over here? Now the reason is that we are getting the first term to be negative and the second one to be the positive. Or basically we are saying that in these 4 terms, the third one and the fourth one, we are discussing about these two terms. So this is negative and this is positive. So if we take minus 5 common, so this term will become positive over here. So why we want to make this term positive? Because if we see over here, the first one is positive and the second one is negative. So over here also, we are doing the same thing. We want the same thing over here. So that is why we are taking minus 5 common. So if we take minus 5 common, so we are left with what? 2y over here. And if we have already taken 5 common, so nothing is left, so 1 is left over here. But at the same time, remember that we have taken a negative common. So if we have taken negative common, we will be left with negative over here. So that is why we are getting 2y minus 1. Now, some of you might get confused, sir, if we have already taken negative common, how we are left with negative over here? For that, let me explain you that also, because negative into negative becomes positive. So if you have already taken out one negative common, you are still left with one negative that I have written over here. Now in this particular example, you can see that 2y minus 1 and 2y minus 1 both are same. So we will take 2y minus 1 common. So we are left with 3xy minus 5 over here. So this is your answer. We have taken 2y minus 1 common over here. So we are getting 3xy from here and minus 5 from here. So we have already taken out common. This is called grouping of terms. I hope you all understood this particular question very well. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss few more questions based on this topic. So see you in the next lecture.